Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about the input tag in HTML. So the input tag, as you all know, so let me put a notice that this video is meant for beginners. So it's meant for beginners if you are just starting to learn HTML and CSS. So I'm going to be giving you input types that you are going to be using. The input tag, I'm going to be talking about the input tag today. So the aspect I'm going to be talking about is the input types, the type of inputs that we have that can be used in HTML. I'm going to be mentioning about 11 or 12. So let's get right into it. So the first one I'm going to be talking about today is the text input. So this is how it's done. You say input and write text. So if you go to your browser, let me refresh this. You have this. So in this input, you can just type any text. Okay, I am a good guy. Yes, because I'm a good guy. So this is the input text there. That's what the input text does. So the next one I'm going to talk about is the button input. So you just say input and write button. So it's going to have something like this, but for you to show that it's a button, you just write value and say my button. So I see I have my button here. So the next one I'm going to be talking about is the checkbox. So you just say input, also just declare the input tag and just say checkbox. So generally what you're just going to be changing is the type depending on the type of input you're going to use. So now I've changed this to checkbox. So you will see I have a little checkbox that is here. So if I click on it, you can see that it checks it. If I unclick, it doesn't check it again. So the next one I'm going to be talking about is the color. So you just say input and say color. So if you refresh, you're going to have this. So this one serves, let me say, like a color picker that you can get different type of color. You can use the RGB, or you can just randomly choose any color you want. So you can see as I'm changing the color, it's changing over here too. So that's what the color picker does. The next one I'm going to be talking about is the date input. So you just say input and say date. So you are going to have like a calendar, and this one is going to provide you with a calendar, as you can see here. So it provides me with a calendar. So this calendar, it has the year, the month and the day. So you can also clear this, or you can come here and do something like today. So that's what this date input does. The next one I'm going to be talking about is the email input. So you just say input and say email. Then when you refresh, this one is used to accept this type of input, accepts only emails, but it's not going to work now because it's not in the form tag. As it's in the form tag now, then it's going to show as a check if the parameters for an email is complete, like xyz@mail.com. It's going to check if all the necessary parameter, which is the @ and the .com, is there. So that's that about the email input. The next one I'm going to be talking about is the file input. So you just say input also and say file, and this one is used to upload files on your web page. So you can just choose a file. If you click choose a file, it's going to bring out the file. It's going to open your file explorer in your browser, and then you choose, okay, let me choose a particular file here. So as you can see, selected a particular file here. If a particular file selected, it's choose it. So that's what the input file does. So the next one I'm going to be talking about is a little bit abstract. It's called the hidden input. So this hidden input is mostly used by people that work with backend languages like Node, PHP, or Python, any of the backend language. So it's mostly used by them. So this one, let me just say, is used to accept data that you don't want to be sure, you don't want it to be visible to the user. So you can maybe hide like a password that's going to be inserted or stored in a particular database, or it's going to be passed as an API. So in an API, it's going to be passed. It's used to, let me just say, it's used to store it's something that you don't want the user to see. So as you can see, I have hidden here now, and if I refresh, you will notice that it's not going to show because it is hidden, but that does not say it shouldn't be there. If I click my inspect now, it should load this. So you can see hidden. The hidden is there, but it's not going to show because of the name hidden. Is an abstract, let me call it an abstract input type. So the next one I'm going to be talking about is the password. So here is how it is written. So I'll just change this hidden to password. Then if you come to the browser, you have this. So this input accepts passwords. It's used to insert password on your web page. As you can see, as I'm trying to type in characters, you can even see that this browser provides you with this save your password key, because it realizes that is a password input. So that's why it's showing these little notes here, because it's a password and it's not meant to be displayed unless you use JavaScript to manipulate it to display what is written. on it. So the next one I'm going to be talking about is the range. So let me just do this and change this to range. So range. So you can see if I refresh this now, I have this. You can see this range is mostly used anytime you are doing like a filter. Maybe you are working with an e-commerce site now, and you want to filter between a certain price range. So it is this range that you are going to use, this range input, to do the filtering of the prices of maybe a phone, maybe some dresses, some clothes, and whatever you are trying to shop for on the website. So the next one we are going to be talking about is the search input. So if I do this and change this to search, you will notice that I have like another input down here. So this is used anytime you're trying to search for something on a particular website, whether an e-commerce site, a blog, or whatever. So if I click this and I type something like this, you can notice that it has this X sign here that I can use to clear. Maybe I'm trying to clear whatever I search for. So that's what the search input does. The next one and the final one, which I'm going to be using to wrap this video up, is the number input. So as the name implies, if I do this and change this into number, so this number input accepts different kind of numbers, integers, negative numbers, and normal numbers also. So you can see that's this range that you can use to increase it. -5, you can also increase it to the highest depending on what you want. So you can also add decimal, and you can see when I do something like this, 14 changes. So that's what the number input does. So this is a wrap for today's video, and if you enjoyed this video, please endeavor to like, share, and subscribe, and also show it to anybody that you know that is interested in web design. You can show it to your kids, you can show it to your friends that are interested in web design. Thank you for taking your time to watch this video, and please endeavor to leave a review in the comment section. Bye.